We're going to Ireland. Redbreast, single pot still Irish whiskey. Let's do this. Hi, welcome back to Whisky Riffs. I'm Kevin, and today we're going to Ireland. We're going to do Redbreast 12. Redbreast 12 is one of my favorite Irish whiskeys. Like many Irish whiskeys, it is made from a mash of malted and unmalted barley. It is triple distilled. It is distilled in pot stills, massive pot stills. The triple distilling process is common in Irish whiskey. It's not so common in most others. I really like this flavor profile, the sherry casks combination with the bourbon casks. It's subtle. It doesn't overtake this particular version. There are other expressions of Redbreast that are really sherry heavy, but this 12-year is lighter. It's just a hint of sherry for me. Back before 1970, a lot of whiskey bottling was done outside of the distilleries, and the casks were handed out and bottlers would bottle it. And around 1970, the distilleries that were making Jameson and Redbreast and others decided to bring everything in-house except for Redbreast. They were convinced by Gimbley Bottling to continue to give them a casks of their pot still Irish whiskey, and that allowed Redbreast to still be bottled by them until the early 80s, when the whole whiskey isn't popular thing happened, and Gimbley gave up the rights to the name, and now it is brought back to life around 1991. I believe they reintroduced this in the version that we know today as pot still, single pot still Irish whiskey. Let's go ahead and do some tasting for this. The first thing that I notice when I pour Redbreast, the Redbreast 12, is that on the nose, there's a little bit of spice and sherry, but on a second nosing, I get this butter. I mean, melted butter that you would have on a biscuit. It is butter all day long. No other whiskey hits this strong with the butter note. Let's go for the taste. Let's see what the palate says. Dried fruit, sherry, oak spice on the taste. Second taste, you get even more of that sherry. Redbreast has a nice long finish. It has that warmth. The spice starts to go away, and you end up with that sherry taste that lingers. And it's uncomplicated. It's easy to drink. It's one of my go-to Irish whiskeys. I really enjoy having a bottle around all the time. It's not too hard to get. I can generally get Redbreast 12 whenever I want. I haven't seen a shortage anywhere. It's probably available where you are. It comes out of Midleton Distilleries, which has the Jameson distribution network, which is massive. Now, locally for me, I tend to get it around $47, as high as $52, in that range. Your mileage will vary because every place is different, every availability is different. Speaking of Midleton Distillery, it is a massive distillery. It's one of the largest, most modern distilleries in the world. The amount of whiskey that is produced there is staggering. we were able to visit there. It was, well, it was March of last year. It was around St. Patrick's Day. Being in Dublin on St. Patrick's Day is quite an adventure. It's, do it if you can. I don't know if I want to do it twice, but it was great to see one time. But Middleton, much further south, around Cork area, is the home of a lot of whiskeys. You've got Redbreast, you've got Middleton Rare, you've got Jameson, you've got Powers, Green Spot, Yellow Spot. Several brands are distilled there. Redbreast is their pot still. A lot of their other brands will be either column still or a combination of pot and column still. Pot stills are a slower distillation process. Column stills much quicker. You can produce a lot more whiskey if you're taking Jameson and you want to produce thousands of barrels of Jameson. You do it in a column still and you get a lot more whiskey production. Pot stills that they have there are, was it 75,000 liters in size. Their production is huge. It's the largest in Ireland. They produce something like 64 million liters each year. And that shows you how popular whiskey has gotten. It's amazing. I was shocked walking through the warehouses and looking at all the barrels, because we've been to other distilleries that were pretty modest. You could kind of walk through a warehouse and not feel like you were getting too lost. These were door after door after door of warehouses. And when we walked in the one section, it was just massive. And that was just one of, I think they said, 17 or 18 sections that we could have gone through. I was just blown away. When we took a really nice tour, we did the more expensive apprentice tour, which was a 3-hour tour of Middleton. We got to go through all the process of how they make their various whiskeys. We got to experience some of the classroom scenarios. They showed us how they teach people. We even got to go into a warehouse and I got to tap one of the casks and use a thief and pour myself a glass of whiskey, which that was a thrill. If you're new to whiskey, if you're looking for something that is easy to drink, I recommend Redbreast 12. It's easy to get. It's a little higher end than you're going to get with a Jameson. And it's good for people that are maybe bourbon drinkers and they want to say, well, I want to try something else. Try a Redbreast 12. I really think you'll like it. I think you'll appreciate it. And there are plenty of variations once you get into this. You can go for a cask strength. You can go for the 15-year. You can go for the Lustau, which is a really heavy sherry in that one. Lots of choices. So I hope you are able to get a bottle, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you would, click like, click subscribe, and bang that bell so I can notify you when I have new episodes of Whisky Riffs. So I'm curious, what Irish whiskey is your favorite? And why do you like Irish whiskey? Let me know in the comments. Cheers. Butter all day long.